Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have this update video from the unboxing, and this will basically just go through all of the engines. I've tested all of them and cleaned up and worked on some, and obviously some things are missing, and I'll go through that at the really end, but this is everything I've pretty much worked on over the time, and I feel like they're mostly at complete stages, and or just stages that I'm kind of just done with. So yeah, here we go. So let's get started. If we first come over here, these are the Walder's wood Santa Fe cabooses that someone added custom marker lights on, and you can see that this one's actually really great. So Santa Fe actually had used yellow instead of green, so the green is technically wrong. The yellow looks great though, and you can see from the rear it's red. You can see right there. So this one's great. This one seems to like to cut out. There are capacitors in both, but this one's track pickup seems to be very at least there's some kind of issue with it, so yeah, it just tends to like to go out. But anyways, yeah, I didn't really do much about these. I used a brush to dust away all the dirt from the roof, but otherwise they were pretty much set out of the box. Next up is this Bachmann amp plate. If you recall, when we took it out, it was when you shake it, it was like something moving inside, and what turns out was all these doors. There was two door pieces, and both end door pieces, the plastic windows were broken off. Just the glue kind of got loose and it just fell off. So that was a pretty simple, just gluing job, and that's all I did to it. I also actually did paint the whatever these are called. I don't believe they're MU hoses, but there's the connection hoses with white and blue paint on both ends. So yeah, it's not that much of a thing. It doesn't make much of a difference, but I think every detail counts. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I also cleaned the wheels, but yeah, you can see the lights look pretty great and everything like that. So that's pretty much good. Next up, this is the MTH GS4. This one, if you recall, I got it pretty much brand new condition. I arrived at my apartment, and all I did was ship it back home, and there was only one piece that was loose from shipping. The box actually got kind of messed up, but from the shipping, they handled it really aggressively. But anyways, luckily only one piece was on here that was loose. I'm actually gonna silence this engine here. This one's kind of making noise. Anyways, yeah, so I just glued that loose piece back in, and it works fine. We can have it run right here, 4449. If we start her up, turn the headlight. Yeah, so it works fine. I haven't tested the smoke unit yet, but I don't really care for that anyway, so we'll just leave it as is. Turn the sound back off, or shut her off actually. All right, over here we have the brand new GG1 that I got from Train World. It's made by Bachmann. I paid 90 bucks for this engine, and it works fine. Nothing wrong with it. Let us enter the number in and turn the headlight on, and then we can see it move. And it also has sound, so here's the traction motors. Yeah, so it works fine. Nothing wrong with that engine, didn't have to do anything about that. Over here we have the Bachmann Berkshire engine. If you recall, this one was absolutely disgusting when I took it out, and also apparently claimed to be not running. All I did was the decoder reset, the motor, everything worked fine, so I'm actually not really sure what was wrong with it, but I think maybe they just forgot the decoder number or whatever. But anyways, yeah, so the motor was fine. It was quite disgusting in here. There was a cat hair, dog hair, or carpet lint. I don't really know what it was, but there's a bunch of stuff jammed inside the wheels, and the shell was absolutely disgusting. So luckily, actually, I went through everything and nothing was broken off. It was just dirty. So yeah, so with the tender, I just took the shell off. I washed it in dish soap and water. Same thing with the shell. Obviously, a little more careful with that. I also took the pilot off, the air compressors and whatnot of the ladders. Everything there, I also took off and washed. And then the chassis, I just used a wet paper towel to clean stuff, and then there was a bunch of grease and the cat hairs, as I said. So I had to take apart all the wheels, the drive rods, the linkage, the crossheads, etc. Everything there I took apart, and that was kind of a pain, but anyways, yeah, so you just take it apart. I used isopropyl alcohol to wipe everything down to remove the grease, and because I didn't want to soak it in water, obviously. So yeah, I did all that stuff, and now it runs perfectly fine. It actually looks almost brand new. I mean, I think it looks brand new in my opinion, but there's definitely a few small things wrong with it, notably some glue marks, some really minor glue marks that are barely visible. But anyways, yeah, so this basically looks brand new, and it runs brand new too. We can actually enter the number in. Now this engine came with just DCC, the really crappy Bachmann DCC decoder, which makes it sound a lot, this makes the motor sounds a lot louder than it should be. But yeah, here it is. Uh-oh, did it cut out? Here we go. There's a lot of momentum programmed into it for some reason, but yeah, it works fine. Anyways, I don't want it to couple onto the caboose, but anyways, yeah, it works fine. The lights and everything also work. Here's the MTH PRRK4. This one just had a bunch of damage to the details. Everything I fixed, all the details and etc. I returned. I tried to refix. I fixed it. So anyway, sorry. I fixed all the details. There's only 2 issues wrong with it. So one thing was the stirrup step on the other side is broken off, and I can't really fix that because that is attached. That is just one part of the main frame of this tender, which is die cast. And MTH wanted to charge me like 30 or 40, like $35 to buy a new frame, and I was like, screw that, it's not really worth it. So I'm going to either leave it as is, or I'm gonna get a spare parts engine from like a Bachmann K4 parts engine, and I'll just break apart the stirrup step and attach it to here, or do something like that. Obviously, make it really secure. I don't want to glue it. I probably will have to do something about that. But anyways, yeah. So that's all it has. That's the only issue with it. And then also the smoke unit. Probably I don't think it works. Someone mentioned it's wire. I checked that, it's not that. I think it's something inside of the smoke unit, which is a real pain, so I'm not having a bother. And as I said, I don't really care about smoke, so it's not really a big deal for me. Otherwise, it sounds and runs fine. Here we can load it up. 518. Here's the headlight. Actually, no, we need to turn it on first. Here we go. So yeah, it works fine. Let me back it back up. Shut it off. Okay, and then we have a few engines left. We have this one right here. This one is a brass made by United/PFM. It is an Omaha /C and NW engine, Chicago Northwestern. It is a brass 060, and it did come with sound, though it was not running. And the shell was also off. It was just in shambles, so I actually had to reattach everything. I put the shell back on. There was a bunch of things that was bent from the brass, so I had to rebend it back together. I also got some replacement screws in, and so I reattached everything. I also did a thorough clean through, also with the tender and shell. I also removed all of the drive wheels and everything like that, cleaned the grease out, put some new grease in. Similar thing to the Pure Marquette, except it just took a lot longer because it was brass after all. But yeah, so this one actually, I'm fortunate enough that the sound decoder actually did work. It is a Tsunami Micro, so I think it's like a TSU 750. I have it set to number 3 right here, and you can hear it start up. It does like to cut out because there are no additional pickups. It's still the stock pickups, which means that the engine's 3 wheels picks up one side, and the tender's 4 wheels picks up another side, which is, if you count, only 7 pickup points, of which only 3 and 4, so it likes to cut out all the time. And there's also no space in the tender for a keep alive, so unfortunately it does like to cut out a lot, but I mean, it works fine. It's also very loud. The stock United gearbox and the open frame motor is quite outdated, but yeah, it works fine. There's the whistle, and here's the bell. Yeah, as I said, pretty stock decoder. And yeah, the headlight, you can see that someone tried to attach an LED to the front. It like sticks out a lot, so it looks kind of funny. The LED does work. I did attach 3 volts to the leads, and it did light up, but the decoder is not for some reason lighting it up. So like function 0 does not light it up for some reason, and I think it might be like a decoder, maybe a wire error, like a wire wasn't attached properly or something like that. I'm not gonna worry about that. My plan for this is I might actually just take out the decoder and take out all the modifications and sell it as a stock brass engine, and then I'll probably put the decoder in something else, or put that and sell that decoder. I'm not really sure about this engine right now. I'm definitely not gonna keep it. That's why I know. I'm gonna mute that. But anyways, yeah. So it runs fine. This decoder works and everything. So that's all that really matters. Yeah. So anyways, next up we have this. So this was a $30 Pro 2000 USRA 060. As you can see, they tried to remove the they try to customize it, I'm assuming. So you can see they scraped the black paint off and the green plastic is exposed. And they try to remove the Atlantic Coastline logo on here. But yeah, so this was $30. It was a parts engine, sort of. Like they just said not tested / not working or whatever. And so I bought it. It was $30. I was like, if anything, the details I can use for something else, or I can use this as parts or whatever. But actually, this thing surprised me. There was some damage details, but actually those were just loose, so I just kind of stick them back to their place. The engine runs perfectly fine. The tender, so in the listing and from my unboxing, there was no speaker holes in the tender, so clearly this came factory as DC. However, I tried to apply power to the engine and it didn't run under DC. So I was like, what is going on? So I took out the tender, and there's actually a TCS Wow Sound 21-pin decoder and a Keep Alive in here, which that, by the way, is alone worth about $100. The engine, which runs fine, although it needs some work here. Maybe I'll strip the paint and paint it unlettered. Like, I'll just paint it black and I can sell that off. Is worth about, I'd say, like $80 to $100. That actually might be a little bit too much. Maybe I'd say like $80. But anyway, so this is worth a lot more than what I paid, which is absolutely amazing. I have it currently set to number 1136. So let me turn that on. Here we go. And you can hear the stock TCS Wow sound, which actually I prefer a lot. So I'm definitely going to keep this decoder for myself. Move it forward. You can see that it's still, obviously the chuff isn't programmed properly, but I think that's because I reset the decoder itself, so yeah. Anyways, so this is an absolute deal. I love it so much. I'm not really sure what to do with it right now, but yeah, I might keep it actually, because I think it's actually done. It actually is pretty complete. So yeah. Next up, we have this. This is a Mantua Goat. This thing runs fine. I'm not gonna test it right now because it is DC. There's no decoder or anything in here. It runs fine. This is the Sunset Brass engine. This engine actually needed some work. The handrail here is broken, if you remember. So I stripped the paint off of, I just like used the wire brush and got rid of most of the paint around here. I bent the wires as close as possible. It was cut here, and so I actually soldered it back together. I sanded off the excess so it still looks like a straight wire, and as you can see, it looks a lot better now. There was a loose solder connection here, and then this thing was broken off. I was gonna solder this into place, but I was too lazy, so right now I just glued it together. I used some epoxy, and it's honestly fine right now. It's pretty sturdy. But you know, in the future, if I choose to, I can easily solder this back together. But for now, I'm just gonna glue it because it's not a big deal. This thing runs absolutely great. It's completely silent. I actually might cut the video soon, and I actually might just have these on a DC layout and try to run them to show you. This thing is smooth and silent. It is absolutely amazing. And lastly, we have this engine right here. This is it looked like a brand new Pro 2000 PRR. Pennsylvania Railroad, USRA 060. However, the original owner said it only ran like 4 inches, and then it would just stop. And that was because of a valve gear issue. And it was actually on the other side. So let me show you this. Let me flip it around. I don't like doing this with one hand, but alright, yeah. So this thing is basically brand new. The paint and everything's pristine. There's no dust, no oil, no dirt, no fingerprints, nothing. So yeah, this thing is basically brand new. So the reason I didn't leave this on the track is because these two are both programmed to number 3, because this is brand new basically, and this is also just a reset decoder. So let me go back to engine number 3. All right, here we go. And the headlight and rear light work. I'm not gonna bother with that right now, but yeah. So there's some issue with the valve gear, especially this eccentric crank. The angle of the eccentric crank wasn't quite to its position, and so this part would always bind. But now I fixed that, so it was a very easy fix. Let me turn the sound off because it's kind of annoying. But you see, it runs silently and it's so smooth. And obviously the sound works. Show the rear light for now, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, basically I have a brand new Pro 2000 060 right here with sound. So I'm not really sure what to do with this. One of my friends, he said that he wanted to buy this from me, possibly. If not, I'm just gonna sell this on eBay for about, I'd say, I mean, these things are worth about, I'd say $250. maybe a little more used or brand new, so I'm gonna sell as that, or say like new. But anyways, yeah, so that's it for these things. Now there's a few other things that that obviously are not shown here. There was the New York Central converted Troop Express car that I'm working on right now. It is fine. I'm just adding the detail parts, you know, the little bag of wires, wire grabs and whatever. I'm adding that right now. The Intermountain reefer cars, I haven't built those yet. In the process. I'm gonna actually worry about those later, but yeah, they look fine. There was that Bachmann 280. I took that thing apart. There's nothing valuable in there. It's actually it's kind of like complete garbage. I might keep the motor and whatever. I'll definitely keep it around. I'm not gonna sell it right now, in case I buy another 280 and I need parts for it. But yeah, I think it doesn't run like the wires are stripped. There's just not. It seems like just kind of a crap engine. So yeah, I mean I paid $20 for that engine. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's everything around here. I might just cut the video right here, and I'm gonna put these two on the layout and just show you how it runs. But otherwise, yeah. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, and we are back. I set the layout to DC. As you can see, I have my Bachmann controller right here. And so I took all the engines off. So yeah, let's start with this Man 2 engine. Now, it is a stock engine. The gears are really noisy. It's an open frame motor. However, it is in almost pristine condition, and the lights do work. So anyways, here we go. Oh. The rear light. So yeah, quite a noisy runner, but that's kind of signature for Mantua. And yeah, so that's that. And then let's get the Santa Fe engine. I'm actually just gonna cut again right here. Alright, and we have the Santa Fe engine right here. This is a Sunset Santa Fe class 1900s class. And yeah, so this thing, as I said, runs completely silently. I'm gonna shut up right now. Smooth as butter. There's very, very little gear noise. I think it is a Sagami motor or some sort inside. It's really nice though, very high quality. But so yeah, this thing runs great. No sound, it's plain DC, not DC ready, no lights, nothing like that. But I think it's a great engine here. So anyways, that is it. So I have all the engines right here, and I put some over there because I don't have enough space here. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's actually been quite a fun experience working with all these engines. Fortunately, nothing really complicated. However, I didn't really get to show off my more, I guess, advanced skills. Like yeah, there's no quartering issues, there's no cracked axles or split gears or anything like that. Just pretty straightforward fixings, just mostly dirt, some broken details, and some electrical issues. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. So anyways, I need to go back and grind on my college work now. So yeah, anyways, all right, I'll see you guys. Bye.